Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. I still have a tarot deck that we'll be using, as well as the decks that I'll be using in the extended to close out the reading. Any information on that extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Sagittarius, in your recent past, you have knowledge with the Eight of Swords in reverse. This Eight of Swords in reverse is actually my favorite card in tarot. So in your recent past, I feel as if there's this energy of you breaking free from something, whether that is a relationship that was holding you back, a mindset, a habit. Now, maybe you've broken free from this, mentally or emotionally, but you haven't yet been able to separate yourself in the physical world from it. If that's the case, that's okay. But I do feel as if this is the process of starting to break yourself free, maybe even in general, if this is like a deeply spiritual reading, like breaking yourself out of survival mode. Through this situation, or whatever it is that you kind of have broken yourself free from, or in the process of breaking yourself free from, you've learned a lot. You've learned a lot about yourself. You've learned a lot about the world around you, maybe even learned a lot about other people. And that knowledge that you've learned through this situation is absolutely necessary for you moving forward, which I feel like you'll come to see as you move forward on your journey. In your current energy, you have higher power with the Seven of Swords. So right now I feel as if there are a lot of unknowns. With the Seven of Swords, there's a lot that hasn't been revealed to you about where you're going, why this is all happening. Because, especially when we break free from something that we looked at as a source of our safety, even if it wasn't good for us, or if we had an attachment to it, or, a codependent aspect to it, if it was a relationship, breaking yourself free from that can leave you with a lot of questions. How do I fill this void? Where do I go from here? Where am I going to end up? Am I going to be okay? And you have this higher power card, which to me is universe saying, we got your back. Like, you are supported, you're guided through this, even if you're having a hard time, feeling a little bit lost. And I feel as if moving forward, you have changes in the Hierophant. So I feel as if these changes are very positive and very powerful, because this Hierophant to me is representing like a leveled up version of you, a more wise, more grounded version of you. And it's almost as if this version of you that you're stepping into, you're in the process of stepping into it right now. This version of you has been through a lot and has learned a lot. That's where this knowledge kind of comes into play, and starting to take what it is that you've learned and applying it to your life in terms of making certain changes, not settling for less, knowing your worth and value, and acting in that capacity. I feel as if these changes that you've been looking for start to appear in your life, because the overall theme for the reading is the energy is gaining momentum. So I feel as if things have been stuck for a while, if you felt like kind of like maybe a hamster on a treadmill, I guess a treadmill would be an example of that too, but a hamster on a wheel just kind of like running in the same place. I feel like the changes that you're looking for are going to start to appear in your life sooner rather than later. But time is relative, depending on where you're at in your journey, maybe even when you're seeing this reading. It doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. Just make sure you take it as it resonates. So let's start, Sagittarius, with your recent past. You have knowledge with the Eight of Swords in reverse. This is for Sagittarius's recent past, please. What does Sagittarius need to know regarding their recent past? Okay. You have the King of Wands, Four of Cups in reverse, and the Knight of Wands. So So you're showing up here as the King of Wands, whether you're male or female. And I feel like whatever this is that you kind of are dealing with or have had to kind of work on breaking yourself free from, it's something that you gave a lot of yourself to. With the Knight of Wands, it kind of maybe, I don't know, it required a lot of you. A lot of your heart, mind, soul, spirit. And I feel because of how much you put into it is why you like continued to invest in it or stayed in it or had a hard time breaking free from it in general. Because I feel as if whatever the situation is, especially with the Four of Cups in reverse, it's almost like there was this awareness that it wasn't good for you, or that it didn't align with you, or it didn't provide you with what it is you desired. But I feel like you continued to invest anyway, or you stayed, or you something in this situation because you had given so much of yourself to it. Let's get more. Yeah, okay. It was a place, a situation, a job, relationship with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse where you were severely undervalued, or like your value wasn't recognized, like underappreciated in this situation. But there was a part of you that felt unsafe without it. Like an obligation to it, or an aspect of you that felt like you needed it. So you continued to give so much of yourself to it, even though, because you have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Cups in reverse, even though you weren't, like your value wasn't appreciated, your value wasn't seen for what it is. And that you were aware of. I feel like that's what you were aware of. You knew this situation didn't align with your value, but you continued to invest in it because you felt as if you needed it. Or need, if this is something you are currently dealing with. Because this Ace of Cups in reverse is the need to be, honest with yourself. And maybe there's a part of you that, I said you were aware of it. But for some of you, there could have been a part of you that didn't want to admit that this didn't align with your value. Or you were hoping that if you continued to give so much of yourself to it, eventually it would see your value. It would value you in the way that you were deserving of being valued. But like the Ten of Pentacles in reverse is less of, I don't think you were being, I don't think it's like you weren't being valued at all. But it's almost like if it were a job, like you were overqualified, or if it was a relationship, like you brought way more to the table than was recognized. Like that has been a little bit of a theme this week in my readings, is like not seeing what it is you bring to the table. Now, I feel like it's actually a little bit different for you, Sagittarius, because I feel like you do know what you bring to the table. But it feels as if you can't find, or maybe this is what you've been struggling with, it's like you can't find the right table. You can't find the right place for you. So you keep trying to invest in things and people and in situations, hoping that aligns with your value, but just feeling like you continue to get stuck in places where you don't belong. So that's a lot, but then you have this Eight of Swords in reverse. So it's almost as if like breaking yourself free from like selling yourself short, or from not being like seen, heard, or valued in the way that you deserve to be. But feeling, it's like, but you continue to invest in these things because you feel you need to. Sorry, I wasn't ready to pull another card. It's like you continue to invest or give yourself to situations, and this might be a few different things, because you feel you need it. Like it's an aspect of your safety. Maybe we're talking finances. Maybe you share a home with someone. Maybe just emotionally, you're afraid of being alone. It could be so many different things. What else does Sagittarius need to know? Five of Swords with the Ace of Wands in reverse. Fight or flight comes to mind with this Five of Swords, Ace of Wands in reverse. It's like this situation that you were dealing with had you constantly in fight or flight. Like you were constantly... That's what's interesting. It was an aspect of making you feel safe, but you didn't feel safe in it. So like, the best thing I can think of, and it doesn't have to be a job, but that just keeps coming to mind with the pinnacles that we have here, is like you're in this career, you're in this job, and this job is like has a super toxic environment, like your boss treats you horribly. So you're in fight or flight when you're actually doing the job, but then there's this added like, oh, but it's how I pay the bills. I need this job because I pay the bills. Even though the job doesn't make me feel safe, there's an aspect of safety associated. Same with a relationship. It's like, you stay in a relationship that doesn't treat you well, that doesn't see your value, because it's constantly, being undervalued, and you don't feel safe. You're in fight or flight. You're constantly, fighting to survive in this relationship, but there's that added safety of it of at least I'm receiving, it might be bare minimum love, but at least I'm receiving love. It's almost like the situation wasn't good for you or isn't good for you. But yet there's an aspect of safety to it that keeps you giving everything, like all of you. With the Knight of Wands, like giving a lot of yourself to it. Now, it's taught you a lot, and it's that what you've learned from this is absolutely important. I feel like we'll get more on that as we continue to move forward. But let's shift gears. I want to do current energy here for Sagittarius, higher power with the Seven of Swords. Current energy for Sagittarius. Current energy for Sagittarius. All right. See, but now, because I feel like you did break yourself free from it, or you're having a hard time breaking yourself free because of the unknown associated, like if you did that, yeah. Because there's this energy of chasing it, chasing something. Chasing an outcome. You just keep getting hurt over and over again with the Three of Swords. Oh, there's the Hierophant. Now maybe you see like a lot of potential in this thing, or saw a lot of potential in this thing. But I feel like there's still this energy of chasing associated with it. So it's interesting because I feel like you're in the process of breaking free. The changes is the breaking free. So you're in the process of breaking free here. But there's so much unknown associated with breaking free that's why you have this higher power card. The universe is needing you to know that you are safe and you are secure, and that you don't have to stay in this situation in order to receive what it is that you desire. But why are you still chasing it? Maybe you don't even know that you are. Or maybe you're running the risk of repeating it in a different... No, that doesn't feel right. Because I haven't seen the world. Like, it doesn't feel like... It could be a cycle. Okay. Stop. Try to figure it out without cards. So I'm just going to keep going. So chasing. And it's like you keep getting your heart broken, or kept getting your heart broken over and over and over again. For some of you, and the reason I keep jumping back and forth is because for some of you, you have broken free from this. For others of this collective, you are having a hard time breaking free from this. I don't feel like the collective is very split. And that goes back to the time thing. Like, based on when you're watching this or what you're experiencing in your life, this could be your present energy, So again, take it as it resonates, but there's still some chasing involved because there's not you don't have a whole lot of trust here, Sagittarius, in yourself, in the universe. There's a lack of trust here. Okay, let me just keep pulling. I'm trying to make sense of this energy for you. Five of Wands. Five of Wands with the Eight of Cups in reverse. You want things to change, right? You want to be valued. You want to be seen for that value that you provide. You want the situation to change. But the problem lies in the fact that you want it to change in the way that you want to change. Like in a perfect world, you could stay in this situation and everything would work out. This person or this career, like your boss or whatever, would see your value, compensate you appropriately, treat you appropriately. In a perfect world, things would change in that way. But the universe is saying you can have what it is that you desire, but you've got to let go of your need for things to change in the way that you need them to change. Because right now, there's almost this resistance. There's this resistance in your energy to the changes that need to be made that are actually going to lead you to what it is you're looking for in a situation. But there's so much unknown associated. That's the hard part for you. But then you have this higher power card. It's like you need to know that you are heavily supported. But it's almost like continuing to give so much to something that it doesn't make you feel good. It makes you feel maybe bad about yourself, or like I said, kind of that fight or flight mode energy. Current energy for Sagittarius. Not listening to intuition. And that's why things aren't changing, because your higher self has messages for you. It has guidance for you. There's the Seven of Swords. There's an opportunity in the unknown. Because that's the Seven of Swords. Look at that. Page of Pentacles. There's an opportunity in the unknown, but you have to embrace the unknown in order to receive this opportunity. And it requires certain action from you into the unknown of some sort. This feels vague, but I feel like if this is your reading, you know exactly what I'm talking about, or you'll get clarity on it later. Because I feel like, yeah, it's funny. I just opened up to the Three of Wands, stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's like, you have to embrace the opportunity isn't going to present itself without the unknown being embraced. You can't stay in a relationship that doesn't serve you and hope that things get better or someone better comes along. You only have energy exchange is a very, very real thing. And if you're giving out your energy to what doesn't serve you, you're not going to have energy to attract what does. And I feel as if it's like, yeah, there's certain changes that need to be made, but those changes require you to venture into the unknown. And that is why you're resisting the changes, is because of the unknown associated. And the universe is telling you that you're very, very supported on this path. And it kind of feels as if these changes are going to happen anyway. This is interesting. This is an interesting reading, Sagittarius. Immediate future for Sagittarius changes with the Hierophant. What does Sagittarius need to know regarding their immediate future? Okay. No more shuffling. What does Sagittarius need to know regarding their immediate future? Strength with the Four of Swords. Okay. This is like a guarantee to me, Four of Swords with the Strength card. It's like, it feels like a guarantee that you can have, because there's the Devil in reverse. You can have whatever it is that you desire. Like with the Four of Swords, you have the ability to create whatever it is that you desire, but it doesn't happen. It's got to happen within, because there's this need to step in to having this unwavering confidence and faith in yourself and in the universe, in your ability to have what it is that you desire, so much so that you stop settling or staying in places where you don't belong. Because the more that you invest in places that don't value you, the less you have to invest in the places that will. And there's this attachment with the Devil here, attachment to a specific person, a specific outcome, something that is blocking your ability to see what needs to happen in order for you to ultimately have whatever it is that you desire. But it's like there's certain changes that are necessary for you to make in order to create those. And it's changes that you now have the knowledge to pursue. And it's because of what you've been through. Sometimes we have to learn like what we don't want and where we don't want to settle and what we don't want to accept, to learn that we're not going to go there anymore. To walk away, to choose ourselves, and to make different decisions next time. And it's almost as if that's kind of what this is talking about. It's like you've accepted kind of bare minimum treatment or accepted way less than your value for so long that you now know that's not going to get you anywhere. Because the more that you invest in places that don't value you, the more that you are just going to constantly get triggered because you're consistently feeling undervalued. And it's almost as if the changes that you're desiring, there it is, the changes that you're desiring have to come from you. Nobody else has the power to create the changes that you're looking to create in your life. Nobody. Only you. You might be like, no, but if my boyfriend XYZ, nope. You are the only person who has the power to create the changes. And where that happens is when you stop allowing people to treat you a certain way, you start setting boundaries, you start taking your power back and realizing that you have the power to create the life that you deserve and desire. But it feels as if you've been spending a lot of time like waiting on other people or hoping things change or something. And the universe is asking you to take life into your hands. Know that you're supported. Take that, step into the unknown, and the changes that you desire are on the other side of that. But there's this energy of kind of staying where you're at and wanting things to change, which I get. I have absolutely been there. There's no shame. You're not doing anything wrong. You haven't missed any opportunities. The opportunities that we desire are always there. And if we make mistakes, they'll always come back. There are always opportunities for a better life. Okay. So this isn't, when your ego is like, it's now or never. If you don't do this, you're never going to get there. That's not true. There are always opportunities for a better life and for better outcomes. But we have to be willing to lean into the faith that those exist and have within ourselves the power to know that we can, that it's possible, that we're capable, that we're deserving, and to take action from that place of like confidence in ourselves and in the universe in order to create those. And sometimes when we settle, the universe teaches us lessons about why settling is never going to work for us. And I feel like that's kind of what you've experienced. Allowing yourself to settle in places where you knew you weren't being valued. And again, you didn't do anything wrong. We've all been there. But allowing yourself to settle in places where you knew you weren't valued taught you a lesson of knowing that you're never going to do that again. And that's taking that moving forward and having this confidence to say, okay, if I know that there are places, people, situations out there that align with my worth, that, know my value and treat me as such, and I just have to align with those, because it's not about other things aligning with you. Those things already exist. The life that you desire, the abundance you desire, the relationships you desire, those things already exist. They're already out there energetically. So it's not about waiting for them to align with you. It's about figuring out what you need to do to align with those things. That's where you create whatever it is that you deserve and desire. But you, Sagittarius, have been waiting on other people or chasing certain things, trying to force things that won't change. instead of choosing to not stay where you don't belong. Hard truths, I know, but I've had to learn them too. We really do have to learn that, and one of the reasons in my readings, I don't sit here talking about, oh, this is what's happening and this is what's coming towards you, because first and foremost, there are so many factors that go into that. And there's absolutely no guarantee that any kind of future energy that is pulled is going to happen. You have more power over what happens to you than you give yourself credit for, and it's based on your energy that you put out there, the steps that you take, and the faith that you have on those steps. So to know that this whole reading is talking about the fact that, first and foremost, you are way more powerful than you think you are. And second of all, you're not alone. You have the support that you need to carry you through this process and this journey. But the only person that is going to come along and change your life and create the life that you deserve is going to be you. And that's both one of the hardest messages or hardest truths to hear and most freeing, because it's like, yeah, you know what? The only person in my way, right? Man, Spirit's coming out. Hard today. Okay, immediate future here for Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? Slow and steady wins the race. I posted a video last week talking about my journey from like the lowest point of my life to where I'm at now, which I have considered the highest point that I've been blessed to experience so far. And I talked about how I went from a place of like just depth of my mental health issues to the extent that I attempted to take my own life, all the way to where I'm at now, having created a business, in a relationship with the love of my life, like just a lot of good things that I experienced in my life. And I'm talking about this because I talked about how I did it in 2 years. And I can tell you from that process that I didn't know it was happening. I didn't know while it was happening that things were changing for the better. A lot of it was actually facing my fear and continuing to take steps forward regardless of the fact that I didn't believe that things were ever going to be good in my life. And it was leaning into faith more than I ever had before. And those changes happened little by little, slowly but surely over time. And it was waking up every day with that commitment to a better life for myself, making decisions regardless of how hard they were for the betterment of my life, because at that point, I really didn't have anything to lose. And I think that that's kind of what this is talking about for you. Not saying that you're in like a horrible place like you could be, but changes that you're looking for. And I feel like this is why a lot of tarot readings can be very misleading, is because, there are a lot of them will be like, oh my gosh, the love of your life is going to show up on your doorstep tomorrow and your whole life is going to change for the better overnight. Or you have this large sum of money coming your way, you're going to be rich forever. Those things, I'm not saying they don't happen, but they're pretty unrealistic. And that also gives your control away to something that isn't you. When we learn that we have the power to create the life that we desire, and we take small steps every single day toward that life, we are actually doing more to create the life than we are when we're just waiting and praying and hoping for things to happen. So I feel like what you need to know is that if you have the power to believe that you can change your life, and you show up for yourself with that power to the extent that you are capable of every day, because you're going to show up, your best self is going to look different every day, right? So it's the best self that you are capable of showing up with that day, which sometimes might just be a day in bed, okay? But as long as you can say with complete honesty, you are showing up for yourself in the best way that you know how every single day, you can know that over time your life is going to change for the better. The problem is, Sagittarius, you have very negative expectations of your future, which keeps you staying in places where you don't belong because you don't think that anything better can happen. Or at least that's what this is talking about. Maybe not. The Nine of Cups in reverse, talking about kind of negative expectations, expecting the worst. But this whole reading is really just you having no idea how powerful you are and how capable you are of creating the life that you've been looking for. And especially in, learning that you don't have to stay in places where you don't belong and force people to change or force, try to prove your worth or your value or show people that you're valuable. Because if someone doesn't recognize your value and doesn't treat you as such, and that goes for anybody in your life, it is not your responsibility to show them that you are valuable. It is your responsibility to know your value and act in the capacity of knowing that you are valuable, and that whoever is meant for you in terms of relationships, career, they're going to align with you. You don't have to force yourself to align with anyone else. And I feel like this honestly just feels like you got to stop playing it small. You got to stop selling yourself short here, Sagittarius. You're so much more powerful than you think. All right, one more for what Sagittarius needs to know moving forward. Sagittarius needs to know moving forward. I can tell you when I started, I like that. When I started to change my life for the better, it started with my physical health, just eating well every day, working out, moving my body for 30 minutes a day. Then I implemented 5 minutes of journaling, and it's just baby steps. It really is. It's consistently showing up in the little ways, and the big ways too. What you need to do, Sagittarius, because I feel like so many people feel like happiness is a result of luck. Lucky people have things work out for them, and then they get to experience the happiness because of that. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that have an easier time in life, if you will. But what I can tell you is that happiness is a choice. And the universe is asking you to make a decision to be happy and go out and do what you need to create that life. But it has to be a decision that you make. And there are going to be a million things against you. There are going to be a million reasons why you can't. There's going to be a million reasons why you're going to feel as if you could fail and you're not going to get there, or you'll be alone forever if you walk away from this relationship that doesn't serve you. There's always going to be reasons why not to. But there are also just as many, if not more, reasons why to do these things. You can experience the fulfillment and the happiness that you desire. You have the power to create it. There's absolutely no doubt about that, and that is coming through in this reading loud and clear. But instead of forcing other people and other situations to see your value and to show you that you're valuable and to align with your value, it's knowing your value, showing up in that capacity, and watching your life shift to match that energy. Because with the sun here, the fulfillment, the happiness that you desire, absolutely it's possible. But it's literally, like what this is saying is, it is up to you to create it. You have the power to do that. Which is what I try to do in my readings, is kind of point you in the direction to that power so that you can create better for yourself. All right, Sagittarius, I'm going to hop on over to the extended. This is what you need to know right now. The extended is going to be focused on what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. Again, any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. Sorry for the lighting in this video. I'm really relying on my ring light. It's just been stormy for the last couple of days. An ice storm came through here, so so bear with me on that. Anyways, thank you guys, and as always, I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Sagittarius.